2 weeks before my wedding, my best friend confessed something that shattered everything I believed. She was the reason my boyfriend proposed to me in the first place. Since that moment, I haven't slept properly. My mind hasn't stopped replaying it. So while I sit here putting on makeup, I'll tell you everything. My wedding was only 10 days away. The Saturday before, my bachelorette party took place. Carla, well, let's call her Carla, organized everything. The party, the outings, every detail. We went dancing, drank too much, laughed with strangers. It was perfect. I felt genuinely happy, convinced I was about to marry the love of my life, Juan and I had been together for 3 years. After the party ended and everyone left, it was just Carla and me at the Airbnb where we were staying overnight. I wasn't too drunk, so I stayed behind to help clean up. Carla had been the most energetic person all night, dancing nonstop, but suddenly she became quiet. Too quiet. I told her she could go rest, but instead, she disappeared into the bedroom for a bit and then came back looking different. That's when she said she needed to talk. She started apologizing. Then she said something I still struggled to process. She never thought one would actually propose. Because apparently, it all began as a bet. I stared at her, completely confused, asking her to explain. She told me that when I first introduced them, they already knew each other. The bet was simple. If Juan could get me to agree to marry him, she would date him exclusively. At that time, they had already been secretly seeing each other. Their relationship had always been toxic, on and off. Eventually, they broke things off, and she told him he could do whatever he wanted. That's when he met me. I asked her why she was telling me now. She said guilt had been eating her alive. She claimed she never intended to hurt me. She even tried convincing Juan to come clean, but he refused. According to him, it was all in the past, meaningless, and he insisted he truly loved me. Then I asked the question I didn't want the answer to. Did she still have feelings for him? She said yes. She admitted that seeing him build a serious life with me made her realize what kind of man he actually was and that she still loved him. I asked if Juan knew. She said no, but added that if I allowed it, she wanted to tell him how she felt. At that point, I had nothing left to give. No anger, no energy, just emptiness. So I left. Since then, I haven't told anyone. Not my family, not my friends. I haven't even spoken to Juan. He's away on his bachelor trip, acting completely normal, like nothing happened. And me? I feel hollow, betrayed, disoriented, like reality shifted overnight. The next morning felt strange. For the first time in months, there was no schedule, no planning, no pretending. Outside, the city moved as usual. Inside, everything felt frozen. When I stepped onto my balcony, I noticed a bouquet lying on the floor, slightly wilted, wrapped with a red ribbon. No card, no name. I looked around. No one. I picked it up. The scent was overwhelming, roses mixed with something heavier. It didn't feel like something meant for me. I threw it into the sink, turned on the water, and watched it spin like something I didn't want to remember. Then I checked my phone. 14 unread messages. None from Carla. None from Juan. But there was one from an unknown number. Sometimes the truth is only the first layer. I deleted it immediately, but it stayed with me. Later that day, I went out just to breathe. Halfway down the street, I ran into Felipe, one of Juan's friends. He looked like he hadn't slept. Nervous. Uneasy. We exchanged a few words, but then he said something that caught me off guard. It's not like Juan was the only one keeping secrets. He hesitated, but eventually told me that months before the proposal, Juan had mentioned a man, someone connected to Carla's past, someone who seemed to linger in the background. He even claimed he once saw this man following us in a car. Felipe wasn't sure if it was paranoia, but the way Juan spoke about it sounded real. That's when I first heard the name again. Romero. Back home, I searched online. Found almost nothing. Just fragments. A private profile. A cryptic bio. What isn't told repeats itself. And suddenly, everything felt heavier. Days later, I met Juan's mother. She invited me for coffee under the pretense of no judgment. But judgment was exactly what she brought. She knew. She had always suspected something between Juan and Carla. And she chose silence. To protect her son, not me. That meeting didn't give me closure. It gave me clarity. This wasn't just betrayal. It was a performance. A carefully staged narrative where I was the only one unaware I was part of a script. Then Carla reached out again. We met at a cafe we used to go to. She looked different, stripped down, almost unrecognizable. She didn't apologize. Instead, she told me something worse. Someone was following her. Messages, photos, moments she never shared publicly. Someone was watching. She showed me pictures, including one of both of us from years ago, taken from a hidden angle neither of us had noticed. She believed it was Romero. I wasn't sure, but I knew one thing. This wasn't over. That night, I met Nico, another piece of this broken puzzle. He denied being behind the messages, but showed me something chilling. A photo of me, taken from outside my apartment. Someone had been watching all of us. At that point, fear didn't feel sharp anymore. It felt slow and constant. So I decided to end it my way. I organized an art exhibition. But it wasn't really art. It was truth. I invited everyone. Juan, Carla, their friends, even his mother. The gallery walls told the story piece by piece. Photos, messages, evidence. And at the end, 5 final pieces exposed everything. The bet, the lies, the betrayal, and me, alone in a wedding dress, sitting in an empty church. Silence filled the room. Juan looked destroyed. Carla looked exposed. And for the first time, I felt free. Not because I won, but because I finally stepped out of a story that was never mine. I turned off the lights, leaving only that last image illuminated. The girl waiting in the empty church. But this time, she wasn't waiting anymore. And neither was I.